Joe was first flight attendant, and she was supposed to stay on the aircraft, and I was supposed to lead the people off the aircraft.
This is in case there was a terrorist attack?
Yeah. This is in the manual.
In the manual,
for any emergency.
Yeah, no.
And I took that manual. As I was getting on the airplane, we were going to sit down. I thought, it's silly. This is silly. I mean, it was so prevalent that I needed to get that flight attendant manual. And it was like, there was a finger like this going to me. So I went over, opened up my flight bag, and grabbed that manual and read it when I was in the jump seat, and knew exactly what I had to do that 15 minutes later when I was called to do it. What are the chances?
No, quite. It's extraordinary.
We get to the New York City airport. We are going down the jetway, and the jetways there are I would say flashbacks, but
like a switchback.
That's it. Hannah, you're a winner. As we're walking down there, all of a sudden I had the panic attack again, and I was saying, oh my gosh, get a grip, right? What's going on? And so I started to say to my friend, who we traveled together and worked first class together, I said, honestly, I don't know what's happening, but I feel so uneasy about this flight. I'm being told to grab my BAM book, Flight Attendant Emergency Manual, and look at it. I said, this is the strangest thing I've ever did. We boarded the aircraft, we got it ready for people to come on board, right? And I'm just like, different. There's something wrong. We board the flight, and as always, I did what I always did, is during the emergency talk, for lack of a better word, I would bless the people that were in our area. I would bless them, and I literally tried to have eye contact with each and every one. I did it every flight, and then blessed everybody that was on the flight. It's just something that I did. So we did all of that. We buttoned it up. We got out, and I had just gone up to see what was happening in the cockpit and asked them what they wanted for their food service that morning. And all of a sudden, across the airways, the second pilot bends over. I can see it today. Bends over, turns the radio up, and across the airways comes, oh my God, an aircraft has hit the World Trade Center. He was flush. My eyes are like a million miles. And he said, go out and get the first flight attendant and come back in. I said, okay. And he says, before you come, go up and down the aisleways and see what's going on out there. So I got Joe, and we went through the back aisleway, and you could hear the phone ringing. Their cell phones were on, and people were calling, and that was their family checking on them. We didn't know that in the moment, right? But he wanted us to see who's on the plane. If you see something that's unusual, we didn't. So we went back up, and we got in the cockpit with him, and he said, this is what we're going to do. He said, just keep your eyes open, and we're not going to have service this morning, so you don't have to prepare. So we went back out. I remember closing that door and turning around to Joe and saying, I can't think of anybody I'd rather be on this flight with at this minute than you. We hugged one another. We did what we had to do, right? Preparing. Then 10 minutes then from that time, we heard that we needed to land as quickly as we could. So we prepared everybody for that landing, and we landed. It was an airport that was no longer commercial. It was just for private jets. It was a fascinating, sort of an eerie landing. We got off, we went inside. We were told to take the epaulets and everything off that made us look like we were attendants on an airplane. We were soon ushered off into a cab to take us to a hotel, and the people scattered. Everybody did a different thing. And then when we got to the hotel was the first time that we actually really heard all about it. It was the most profound experience. Every year that goes by, it's a little more profound, and I'm not really sure why that is. But it was really life-altering in many ways.
Of course it was.